welcome to another Just Put Paint on It with me, Skari, your grateful host, and
hello,
Ollie, the Trueborn. Okay, so we're the Trueborn.
I am not.
We're having some fun painting. It is in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak and pandemic, so a lot of you folks are either isolating at home and or social distancing and or your entire sort of like business sector or whatever or sector has been shut down. So this is a stream that I'm going to be doing every single day, usually around 10:30, 11, usually 11 Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be doing this stream every day for the foreseeable future on both YouTube and on Twitch in order for you to be able to sit down, get some painting done, grab your popcorn, you know, that sort of thing. But it's designed so that we can all sort of like get through this pandemic together, get some hobby stuff done, and essentially hang out. So if you have any questions or comments, this is going to be a live stream as we go. So we'll be interacting with the chat. We'll be just getting stuff painted. We'll be sharing our works in progress over time. And I hope you find some value in this. It'll either be a hobby stream. Sometimes we'll do some gaming streams as well.
Video game, Minecraft stream.
Yeah, we sure we can do a Minecraft stream at some point.
Together.
Good morning, Prankster and Kyle. Good morning, everybody joining us.
Good morning.
I'm continuing work on these Romans.
I'm continuing work on my tree lord.
Yes, on your Sylvaneth.
He's gonna destroy you, Dad.
I agree. I think he is one of the strongest foes I have ever had to face. But it's really cool. I've actually pulled out my wet palette, which is something I haven't done in a while. Just because I want to, I don't know, maximize on the amount of paint I'm using, / just keep it simple because it's tiny little 15 millimeter chess journal app. Says thanks Con Hobby because 4-year-old my lap, but I appreciate the stream. Yeah, no problem. Even if you're just hanging out at home and you know just spending time right now
with your family.
Yeah, with your family, or you know, doing what you can do, or your friends. You know, we're all doing what we can do during this pandemic. So, you know, we appreciate you guys for coming to hang out. And all these off school for like 3 weeks or so. 4 weeks. What? So we're gonna be painting all together and whatnot.
Lots of live streams.
Yeah, lots of live streams. Hopefully.
Maybe every day.
Yeah, hopefully every day, because that would be the best, in my opinion. Like I love it when Ollie has decided to switch all of his leaves from green to red.
And yellow and
orange. So his Sylvaneth will now be transitioning into a more...
fall.
Yes.
I like fall. It's one of my favorite seasons. It's my second favorite season.
Yeah? What's your first favorite season?
Spring.
Spring is your first favorite season?
Because it's my birthday.
Oh, yeah? When is your birthday?
March 20 this week.
Yeah, Friday, right?
And we're going to do It's My Birthday live stream.
We are going to do a birthday live stream, which is going to be great fun. Sadly, we had to reschedule your birthday party, though, right?
Where?
Well, as in because the place where we're having your birthday party is closing down because of the virus.
The very, very mean virus.
The very, very mean virus that is shutting everything down.
But good thing people are studying it right now. They're trying to study it.
That is true. I agree. I think it's good.
I think I'm right.
Yeah, there you go. And so thanks for tuning in, everybody. Yeah, rack test model. That sounds fantastic. You know, racks are one of those miniatures that have a lot of potential detail, but you can make them relatively simple. And then once you get them all done, they look pretty snazzy because they have like everything going for them. I'm currently painting Early Roman Legion Auxilia. And I know it's not 40K, you know, but I've been having a lot of fun getting this ancient army painted. I've been working on it for the past, I want to say, 2.5, almost 3 weeks.
3 years?
No, 3 weeks.
3 years.
3 weeks?
3 years.
Oh, man.
You've been working on it for 3 years.
No, 3 weeks. Well, I've owned it for 10 years, Ollie.
What in the world? You owned it for 10 years and you haven't even started painting it.
Yeah, I think that is what
so
a lot
weird.
of us. That's what a lot of us hobbyists have to deal with a lot
That's
of the
what
time.
noobs do.
No, noobs, eh?
That's what noobs do.
No, well, I guess I was totally a noob when it came to hobbying when I got them, and that's actually kind of true. When I, got
We're
these
being
Romans,
a noob at that time.
I totally was being a noob. I didn't really understand. Like, I got them not really understanding what the game was and stuff. I thought they were really cool, and I got myself these guys and a Carthaginian army. I think it was like an early Carthaginian army. Which is super fun as well.
I just want to say...
Raymond says, hey, Skari, the Trueborn is calling you out. Yes, absolutely. Dean McDeath says, well, sounds more fun than painting your 30th Zangor or 50th Cultists.
Comment
100%.
down below. What's your favorite Warhammer model?
S-Cults has already used the time for building my Rampager Chaos Knight. Too much unbuilt or not fully painted stuff. Much time next week's, yes. That's kind of like what we're doing right now. We're going to be encouraging you to, spend the time, and if you're in quarantine or self-isolation or social distancing yourself, or, if you've been laid off work or whatever, to sit down and get some painting and hobby done. And I know right now, like, the kids are going to be home because they're, like, March break, and then there's the schools are still closed. So it gives us a chance to sort of hang out and paint some stuff and hopefully just get through this process all together, which...
make sure to spend time with your family.
That's right. Make sure you spend time with your family, get some painting done, and yeah. But I do, one of the things that I've found is, as a hobbyist, that's a great point, Dean. When you paint your 50th Zangor, it can drive you a little crazy. And I will 100% admit, me painting and starting to play this Ancients army has been not just because I like the models, but because, yes, I've been painting 40k models for the better part of a year and a half on stream.
You haven't painted a year and a half. You started streaming since I was alive.
No. I started my YouTube channel before you were alive. But I've been doing this daily painting stream for about a year. And it has been super fun, and I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot, and I've learned the value of painting things that you enjoy painting so that you don't go crazy. And that's, I think, one of my biggest things is, painting them because I want to paint them instead of because I have to paint them.
My favorite thing to paint is my dad.
Aw, thanks, buddy. Nuno Segura says he's building a Torox Prime Assemble. Nice.
Are you guys anybody building an Age of Sigmar army? Comment down below which Age of Sigmar army you're playing.
Yes. Well, it could be Age of Sigmar. It could be Warhammer 40,000. It could be Infinity.
Warhammer 40 million. I wish there was a Warhammer 40 million.
40 million. Well, that'd definitely be grim dark. Very, very grim dark. Because it would be a long, long time in the future.
And they're gonna have Age of Sigmar and 40k and 40 million.
Yeah, well,
both Age of Sigmar. Oh, Age of 40k. I wish there was Age of 40k.
Age of 40k. Well, who knows? Maybe they will make one eventually at some point. We will have to patiently await to see if it's something that happens.
I'm gonna tell them to make it. I'm gonna force them.
Dean says your tree lord's looking good. Yeah, he painted it all by himself. Let me just say that
he helped me with a bit of details.
I did, just a little bit. But let me say that those contrast paints are really, really good for
How do you
somebody
like
who wants
this
to
red? How do you like this
something.
red I did on this tree lord? How do you like this red?
I'm sure it looks good. Current project says
this
Raymond
red?
Strutter, Disciple Zinch, and Primaris
How do you
Space
like
Marines.
this red?
I think the red is great. I think it's going to look great. You've got a lot of Sylvaneth to change
I
over.
have like 50 models of Sylvaneth. I don't know how to count them.
You've got, well, counting them like this. 1, 2, 3, right?
That's gonna take forever.
Oh, yeah.
I even have you. Sorry. I have so less to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm gonna make some red on my elves too. They still need my dragon still needs some painting.
You think your dragon still needs some paint?
Yeah, I see a teeny bit of white on it.
Ah. Well, now you're starting to notice that little stuff, so.
I used
Afternoon, Skari, says David J. University just got shut down today.
It's
Still
not-
have coursework to do. Gives me more time for hobby shenanigans.
It's not the afternoon, it's
My
the
grey
morning.
nights are calling. Well, in all over the world. Hey, Kunzone, thank you very much for your subscription on Twitch. Really appreciate it. 5 months you put up with me. It's pretty crazy.
5 months.
Hmm.
Let me tell you how much 5 months is. It's like more
5
than-
months is like half a year.
No,
Almost half a year.
it's 6 months.
I know 6 months is half a year. I said almost half a year.
Almost half a year doesn't fix it.
Okay, fair enough.
Has
Just put paint on it.
No, your name is hashtag Dancing Dino. That's the name
Dancing
on
Dino.
this live stream. It's called hashtag Dancing Dino.
Because we're dinos and we're dancing.
Yeah, it's called hashtag
Dancing, 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 dancing.
hashtag Dancing Dino, Daddy.
Raymond says you should count like an orc. Orcs only know how to count to 5, I think, or 4.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, lots. That's I think how they
No,
count.
this is how they count. 1, 2 lots.
1, 2, lots.
Because they only know how to count to 2.
Yes, Prankster, you should definitely get a cool picture to post for sure.
Did you see the trailer that we put in on Facebook?
Well, that is the tree load that we put on Facebook.
I know, but now this is gonna be called Evolution 2 Tree Lord. And you see I did more details on it. I did some XV88 on the claws.
Yeah.
XV88, it's super good paint.
I like XV88. It's one of my favorites.
Wait, I forgot to show you my Shadow Warriors. You didn't see my Shadow Warriors.
I did put a picture on them on the Instagram, I think.
Oh,
So people did get a chance to see them.
did you see the Shadow Warriors? They're super cool. They're so powerful. And if you're deploying them, you don't have to deploy them.
Yeah, I know. They get like secret deployment, which is awesome.
Like in the middle of the game, they can just deploy. That's so cool.
Yeah, they like teleport somewhere. The next thing I want to get Ollie is a Sylvaneth Wild Wood, so because he has one for free, and then he can summon them, or the tree lord can summon one, and
I'm gonna
Stuff
make
like
a
that,
Chaos
which is
Army
pretty
with a
cool.
3-headed dragon.
what?
3 heads.
Exalta says, one too many, really many. Just remember me, trolls in the Discworld universe.
Make
It
prank
happens.
videos on your YouTube channel.
Prank videos.
Like you prank me.
Yeah. Is that the thing to do when you
In
have a YouTube channel? A Minecraft prank. Well, I think I could do pranks, but like, I don't need to do them in Minecraft. What if I did them in like Warhammer pranks?
No Warhammer prank.
No, I could totally make a Warhammer prank. Is that a challenge?
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
That's my evil voice. That's my evil voice. I'm gonna change it. Challenge accepted.
Yeah?
I like almost accept every challenge.
Almost.
Every single challenge in the world. If of course a race.
Yeah? Well, races are like,
Super fun.
yeah, like you have to accept challenge races. Like,
I'll beat you in a race.
that kind of goes without saying, you know?
Once I beated him in a race, I beat you in a lot of races.
Yep. Especially Mario Kart races. I think you're a lot better at Mario Kart than I am.
You're better at Mario Kart Wii.
Yes, I do. I know Mario Kart Wii, but you have like the Switch one?
Yeah, I'm so good at
Is that Mario Kart 8 or what?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, I can't. For some reason, I have a hard time playing that one. I'm like old school, you know? Like,
So you only know the games. You don't know any games.
you give me a Super Nintendo. I'll play a Super Nintendo.
No, you play on a PS4.
Well, PS4s are fun. I know
64.
Tu
You'll
Tio
play-
Brian has a PS4, right?
You can play on the 64. I'll get you a 64.
Yeah?
For your birthday.
Oh, that's nice of you.
And I'll get you Legend of Zelda too.
Well, we have actually Legend of Zelda, the Zelda one, which was like on the Super Nintendo. That was my first Zelda, and we have that one, and we have the old Super Nintendo.
No, that Zelda's on the Nintendo Switch.
It is as well, but we actually have a Super Nintendo with the original Zelda, like the actual game. Yeah. Hello, Enrico Q. Is this Warhammer historical? No. Ollie's painting a Tree Lord.
This is Evolution 2.
Version 2 of the Tree Lord. I'm painting some ancient Romans.
Evolution 2?
No, these are Evolution 1.
Well, when you do more details on a model, that means it turns to Evolution 2.
Oh, yeah? Well, I haven't actually finished them yet, so...
I know, but when you're finished, then you do... Oh, I'm catching out breath. I did too much running this morning.
Did you do too much running?
Breath.
Said you've run out of breath.
Yeah, I'm running out of breath.
You're like 8 years old, man. How are you running out of breath?
Because I run a lot.
Because you run a lot.
Did you know the idea that makes my energy go away? It didn't work.
No? Oh my goodness.
I still have energy even if I run out of energy.
But that's okay. Having lots of energy can be useful.
Ooh, ah!
Yes.
That monkey? Is there a monkey in the basement? Ooh, ah!
Ollie, tranquilo. So, you're going to be doing... You have to do the red on all your other guys too, Ollie.
Oh, no.
So start grabbing your Dryads, or Ilthari and her Guardians. You can do those.
And did you know what I'm going to do? When it turns to summer, I'm going to... When it's fall, it's going to...
You're going to change the colors on all your guys?
Every season, I'm changing the color. When it's...
Robin says, whoa, he's painting way better than me. Hey, man.
Who's
you just
painting
need...
way better?
He said, you're painting way better than you. You're painting way better than him. But that's okay, you know.
What is he painting?
What are you painting? Yeah. And, you know, it just takes practice. Just put practice.
This is my blob green
Hashtag
stuffed
just put
dryad.
paint on it.
This is my blob green stuffed dryad.
Blob green stuff. Your green stuff dryads, yes. Because you
so
made some dryads out of green stuff, so you could have your squad at 20, right?
Yeah. This is a more taller dryad than usual. Look at this. This dryad's taller than usual dryads.
Now you get to put paint on their little leaves and stuff, which is awesome.
Yay, red! I don't like red.
Make sure you watered it down if it's getting globby.
Glubby.
Ah, good old Auxilia. Look at that. I love it when stuff. Repeat and repeat. It's getting better. Yes, totally. Like when I started painting on a more consistent basis, you know, it definitely was different. Like I've definitely improved a lot since I started painting. You know.
One dryad done.
It takes time.
19 more to go.
19 more to go. It takes practice. You know, it takes practice and patience to kind of get yourself to like a standard. And something I found when I'm painting is just put paint on it. You know, that's like the biggest thing I found, or the biggest lesson that I've learned over the last year and a half is hashtag just put paint on it. You might not think you're the best, and that's fine. But if you just put paint on it, everything sort of sorts itself out.
No, you have to do all the details, all the paint. You have to build it. You have to do everything.
That's right.
But
the only way you get better is by
putting paint on your dad.
Oh yeah, well.
That will cheer you up. If you're having a bad trouble painting, the way how I cheer up is putting paint on my dad, or maybe just going on his leg.
Oh my goodness.
And then he's like a piggyback ride, and I hold on his leg.
Yeah, and that's how you get better.
That's how I get revenge on you.
Makes sense.
When you poke me, that's how I get revenge on you.
There you go, buddy.
And I said you poked me out loud. You poked me.
Oliver?
I'm joking.
Oh my goodness, you're funny.
I am not funny.
So how many dryads do you have to do?
20. So many. I think I'm gonna have a very nice day. Gay. How do you spell
Ollie?
day?
Your day, D-A-Y. You're gonna have a very nice
Is it
day.
gay or day?
Day.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, I don't get it.
Very happy day. So you're gonna get that done?
You hear that?
How many? Yeah, what's the fan? That happens.
Why is there a fan?
Hey, Floto Fred. Fancy looking over an Eldari list? Yeah, post it in the chat. You know, I'd love to go over a quick Eldari list. As long as it's in point form and not like crazy. Something else we can do during these live streams. I can definitely look over like army lists and stuff like that. That is completely fine. Since we're all just hanging out.
One day.
What's sorry?
One day.
One day.
I'm going to pie you in the face.
Oh my goodness.
Whipped cream pie.
Dean says, question, Skari. Do you do list building help, and how much is that? And second question,
build a list once.
do you believe T-Suns could work monofaction in a decent list?
Yes.
To answer your question, do I do list building help? Yes. Dean, head on over to the Patreon page.
I can help.
And I can help you build a list. There's a couple of
help
tiers there.
too. I can help.
I can get Ollie to help as well if you want.
You can add some warriors and you can add a special guy. Only you can add the special guy.
No me interrumpas, por favor.
I'm just doing the
And then the Art of War, I do it through the Art of War as well, so you can always get like a list built through the Art of War. That's like a one-time like purchase sort of thing. So it's up to you. If you want to do the Patreon side, you can. That's like on a more consistent basis, or you can just do it like on a one-time thing through the Art of War. So your choice. And then, do I think mono 1,000 Suns can work? Yes, I've seen actually some really cool 1,000 Suns lists.
5 down, 15 more.
And these 1,000 Suns lists have like some really cool like options and whatnot.
Options.
Now, of course, if you want to switch up some stuff, you can always look at Alpha Legion rubrics and things like that, which kind of changes the dynamic of what you can and cannot do. It's probably a little stronger than like straight up 1,000 Suns. But 1,000 Suns with like Cult of Magic, Cult of Duplicity, and even like Cult of Time Terminators or whatever, there's some pretty powerful combinations you can do there, which is pretty awesome.
What combinations?
Well, like just army list combinations, Ollie. This can be pretty nasty.
Maybe you could add some
Good morning, War Mistress. What is going on? Thanks for tuning in. Well, it's morning in Vancouver.
In like 2 hours, it's the afternoon.
In 1 hour. In 1 hour, it'll be the afternoon.
Yeah, it's almost afternoon.
So technically, we just started the stream again. So
Every day.
Usually I start at 11. Today was a little early.
A little early. It
Which
was
is fine.
very early.
It was very early.
Not a little early.
But I thought it would be fun to get started a little earlier than normal and, have us all hang out and whatever.
It was fun because I got a head start of painting my tree lord.
There you go.
It's good.
There you go. It's the spirit. Dun 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 dun.
Please comment down below. I can beat my dad in the next battle report.
Yeah, we have to film our next battle report soon.
Yeah.
Which will be fun because you have your Shadow Warriors now, so I'm super scared because those guys seem pretty cool.
They have 2 attacks each for combat. They're like the dryads.
Yeah. They also have really cool bows that shoot you and stuff.
The sisters of the Alvarone shoot better, but the Shadow Warriors hit better with the swords.
They do, yeah. Yeah, and you debated which one to build, and you were like, I want to build these. After you saw like what they could and could not do, which is pretty awesome.
I'll destroy you next time, you daddy. Right?
I'm trying to make Magnus work, but he seems too point heavy. Well, Magnus can work as long as you. It's more about how you use him in game. I think the cults definitely made him a lot better. Not that he gets like cult traits, but you can heal him twice now, which makes him a lot more durable than he was before. I think that makes a big difference with Magnus.
I want a guy that heals in my army. You have a guy that can heal.
Yeah. No, I've got
I've got
like my skeletons come back to life, but that's just a skeleton thing. They just come back to life.
They're not scared.
Yeah, and they don't get scared easily.
They're bravery 10, but that big three-headed dragon is bravery 10.
Yes, lots of things that are bravery 10 are high bravery.
Do you know why skeletons are so brave? Because they don't have a brain.
Yep, that does make sense.
They're like, what do I do? I'm just gonna stay here until somebody kills me. That's what skeletons do.
That's exactly how the skeletons work.
Yeah.
And they just follow orders from the
skeleton guy.
From the mummy.
Why do skeletons work for mummies? Why do mummies not work for skeletons?
Because the mummies were the kings, and all the skeletons were the king's like helpers and people. And then when the king turned into a mummy, they just kept on helping him when he was a mummy now.
Kings,
or her, because there
are
are
very mean.
Tomb Kings are pretty mean. They're pretty mean. They're just like big nasty kings, aren't they?
I don't like that. I've got an idea for my tree lord. I'm gonna paint I'm gonna paint on his on the side base, and then I'm gonna write Tree Lord.
Tree Lord.
Evil Daddy Killer.
Here is 15 hours, lol. Nice.
Ake
Santa says 4 p.m., so day is mostly over. Gazgul got heavy, but really not unbeatable. Yeah, so, if Magnus and some of the big models got like a rule like Gazgul. Grooby! Hey, Grooby, what's going on? Do what your mummy tells you, obviously. Yes, 100%. If the mummy says that you have to go to battle, then you follow what the mummy says.
I don't follow mummies, even if you're my boss. I don't trust
What about your mummy? You follow your mummy, don't you?
Mummy, mommy and mummy are just different things.
Oh, a mummy.
Mommy has an A and or an O. A or an O, but a mummy has a U.
Oh, so it's spelled differently, therefore it's different things.
Yes.
That does make sense.
Yes.
Yep. I guess he's not falling for it, Grooby. He just made a. That's what a dad joke is, Ollie. He did a pun. He did a pun, Ollie. That was a pun. That was a dad pun joke. Yeah. Come on.
What's a dad joke?
A joke that I say that's super funny.
It's not funny. I never laughed at your dad jokes. I did a kid joke right there.
He's calling me out.
Get out!
I said you're calling me out as in you're telling me that I'm not funny.
Yeah, you are not funny. Because I don't laugh at your jokes.
You don't laugh at my jokes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I am very bad at saying words.
Yeah, you understand the difference between mummy and mummy because of the way that they're spelt.
Yes.
Ah, well, look at that.
I knew how to spell mummy for 10 years. I wasn't even alive for 10 years.
You haven't even been alive for 10 years.
I actually been alive for 8 years because I've been in my mom's belly for a year, so I've actually been alive for 8 years.
Oops, sorry to spam the channel. How best to send a list? Just put the list like right in the chat, and I can kind of go over it.
A dryad's gripping to a dryad.
Mummy is UK spelling. There you go. In the UK, it's spelt the same way, Ollie.
UK? What's
in England,
UK?
In England and in Europe, mummy and mummy, like mummy is in wrapped mummy, and mummy is in your mummy, is spelt the exact same way.
That's so weird. But not in Canada!
There you go. You heard that right, Florida Fred. See, if Magnus got a rule like Magnus, he's a big chaos guy,
sorcerer.
Big chaos sorcerer, yeah. He's got giant wings and stuff. He's pretty
Evil?
mean.
Evil?
Pretty mean. He's a big meanie.
Your skeletons are meaner than him.
My skeletons are meaner than Magnus?
Comment down below
Debatable.
who's meaner, the skeletons or him.
Or Magnus?
Yeah.
My vote goes for Magnus.
Skellies. Vote
Magnus
for
did
Skellies.
everything wrong. I'm okay. About to do some more home improvement. I have a list 4 foot long, so though sales low, I'm still busy.
This is gonna take me 10 years to do all these dryads.
No, we're gonna, all of us staying at home and stuff, we're gonna find ways to keep ourselves busy, and during this
I'm gonna
period
be
of like,
busy by making YouTube videos.
yeah, self-isolation and stuff like that is definitely gonna be, part of our daily lives. at
Make
least
sure
right
to
now.
subscribe to my channel when I make it.
That sounds cool.
Subscribe to my channel. I think I did like 10.
By the way, if I have an army of knights plus retirement and pesticides, do I lose the things of scions from greater good? I believe the scion rules are on a detachment to detachment basis, but it would say it in your rules specifically. If it's like detachments with these, detachments of these guys get these special rules. Sometimes it's armies, like the doctrines and stuff like that. Is every model on the table has to have the same rules.
A doctor model.
To get the doctrines, Ollie.
I thought
To
you
get
said
the doctrines. But I think with scions, I think it's on a detachment to detachment basis. AnimLX says, my life is self-isolation. Yeah, that happens. But
My
welcome
life is
to your,
too.
welcome to your outlet of self-isolation.
Welcome to YouTube Paradise. Welcome to live stream paradise, everybody. Can you please sign in?
Sign in to your YouTube stream paradise. Welcome,
sign into
folks.
your YouTube channel. If you want to join this live stream, you have to sign into your YouTube channel. And be in the YouTube channel. If you're not the YouTube channel, who knows? Am I right?
Are you right?
Yeah, am I right? I hope
so.
I am. I hope I am.
Super excited about getting these guys done.
I'm super
and then
happy
I'm
to
gonna
get my
keep on
silver nest
working.
done.
Yeah.
So
and then I'm
happy.
gonna work on these little horsemen, which the little horse guys, and I'm gonna do the camp. I'm gonna finish the camp up. And then what I'm gonna do is probably order another set of them of different guys, or to add, because I have to get, I believe, a light chariot for my Romans, or I have to order some Roman tents as well for the camp itself, which I think is gonna be super important. I'm gonna get all these guys done up. That's how this works.
I don't know what work means.
Octo Senpai says, hey, I've been thinking of doing an orc army cult of speed, but only with Warbiker. Boss on bike, Def Killer War bike, few cars, and one of each boom and jet. What are your thoughts and advice about it?
Is that Age of Sigmar or 40k?
40k, Ollie. You kind of have to just focus on, like, getting, like, stuff that you enjoy painting and just build an army around that. But you want as many of the little buggies as possible if you're going to build a orc buggy army, because those buggies are actually really strong.
No, they're not. Bugs are not strong.
No, I said buggies.
Buggies? Like
bugs orc buggies. No, they're little like cars, like orcs and cars.
Buggies.
Yeah.
I know buggies. You have them in your army.
Yes.
Sometimes you do.
Well, it depends what army I'm running.
Skari has buggies.
I think if I send the list in chat, it's blocked due to character limit or something. I've entered self-isolation today as well, says War Mistress. It happens. Of course, I work at home, so no different except going out for supplies. True. Cancelled all my games and now start painting like a maniac, says War Mistress. I think that's something we're all going to do together. Enzio from Canada says, hey, just started playing games with Drukari. What do you suggest when it comes to dealing with vehicles? So I've been using disintegrator cannons as my usual go-to for vehicle killing. However, blasters and blast pistols have been my second go-tos because they have been really fun to use.
I'm painting her Gilsari's vines.
Oh, nice.
Some of them. And then
That
some
looks
of them are gonna
great.
be
Make
orange.
sure your paint is nice and watered down, Ollie, so it's not like a goop. Okay.
Like super water?
Well, not super water. Just make sure it's not goop.
It's super wet right now.
Okay. There you go.
I gotta put extra water.
But
You
Octo
can't have
Senpai,
too much water.
like orcs, you can build in a whole bunch of different ways. I do a Meta Monday analysis every Monday for Patreons where we talk about lists and strategies and go through questions and stuff like that. And there was an orc list this weekend that had it was mostly boys, so none of the trucks. However, I know I've seen a couple of these truck lists going around, and they are definitely a very skewed list, like for Evil Sun's Speed Freak style. So they have a tendency to go up against matchups that'll just destroy them. However, a lot of armies aren't geared to kill a million buggies, so it can be very hard to deal with if you're in a facing them. So it can just throw people off guard enough to just win the game based on their unpreparedness to deal with such a skewed list. So as with orcs though, it's always a toss-up because you can roll really, really well for one turn or whatever, and then just
Hitting
totally.
on twos, wounding on twos?
No, they hit on 5, Lily.
Why are they so bad at hitting?
Well, because they have a million shots.
Aegis Sigmar is way better at hitting than 40k.
Well, it depends on what army you have. But orcs tend to have lots and lots of attacks in Warhammer 40k that don't hit so well. But when you do hit with them, they hit so much it can just be really, really good, really powerful.
How do you like the vine that I done on your sword?
It looks great. You're gonna have to wash. Look, you're getting paint all over your fingers. You're gonna get paint all over the bases and stuff. So wash your fingers, please. Seems the only good Chaos Space Marine Legion is Alpha Legion. I really wish it wasn't so powerful.
I am
Alpha
going
Legion,
to get Ultramarines for my Space Marine.
Alpha Legion just has a lot of utility and rules that at the moment, at the current state of the game, are probably a very powerful set of rules. Is it the most powerful? No. There's a lot of really powerful options for Chaos in general. It just happens that one Alpha Legion thing is super powerful based on what the meta, what you're seeing in the meta right now. So it is powerful from that sense, that point of view, where because of what we're seeing in the meta, their abilities just happen to be powerful. As soon as the meta shifts and things change, we're going to start seeing more things like Night Lords or Khorne Berserkers or things like that that just adapt to the meta. What I will say about Chaos, though, is Chaos just has ultimate flexibility based on what you are facing. So you can build a list around
I'm gonna
sort of.
take a break. I'm gonna take a break.
That's no problem. Take a break from painting.
I'm just gonna go upstairs for a bit, have a little bit of food, some water.
Have some snack, water. Okay, when you
come back in half an hour.
When you come back, can you bring me a glass of water, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you, my good man.
Bye.
Bye. See you in a bit. So I'm going to have to spin this around here so you can see the wet palette. There you go. But Animex says, "Good morning, Xandrate. What's going on?" Good morning, all. Finally managed to catch the stream. Vexseeker. Hey, Vexseeker. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. It's definitely been, interesting. I'm glad that we're all kind of hanging out and just painting and stuff. If you have any questions or comments. Now, as for your lists, if you want to put your list in, you might have to just post it point form. Just go on a notepad and just point, just put a generic list that's very abridged version on the chat, so it doesn't stop you from. You can always send me lists if you want me to take a look at them through the Patreon page or the Discord, the Patreon Discord, or you can email them. All the info is on the Patreon page. You can literally just send that all to me if you want. I'll take a look at your stuffs. It's fine. Especially now that we have a little bit of time for theory, craft building and stuff, since, you know, got a little bit extra time on our hands to hang out and do some streaming. Now there's no music on today's stream because I am streaming on YouTube. If I put any music on YouTube, then I tend to get a bunch of copyright emails after, being like, violation. So I'm like, oh crap. So I keep the music away, unless I've got like, I have to find like some nice royalty-free music. Animalix asks on Twitch, he says, I have to ask, have you all also played Dark Eldar for a long time? I imagine you have the old Incubi kicking around. What's your opinion on the new Drazar model compared to the old one? I find he looks just like a Klavex now and is missing his iconic mask. The old model is really good. I love the classic model. He looks like, you know, like a praying mantis or whatever. And that's pretty fun. However, the new model might look a little bit like a Klavex, but the dynamic pose is just incredible. So you can't fault. Like, he just looks cool. I don't care. He just looks cool, and he's big and imposing, and you're gonna put him on the table, and people are gonna, like, you know, people are gonna be terrified of him because he kills stuff. Like, he is nasty. But I do like him. Yeah, just DM me, buddy. Flood. I'll check it in a second. I'll go on my phone and actually take a look. Since this is it's a general hobby stream, so we'll be doing a variety of different things: painting, chatting. We're gonna try and pass this isolation time as much as possible. I'm also thinking of expanding my Twitch stream times so that I can spend more time streaming with you guys. Which means I'll probably maybe do one stream in the morning on YouTube and Twitch, and then one stream in the evening on just Twitch, so I don't overload YouTube. So if you are on YouTube and want to keep up to date with everything, head on over to the Twitch page or the Patreon. Mr. Games El Crack. ¿Por qué aviones y no Ravagers en tu lista? Pues te digo, cuando los Marines espaciales, los Iron Hands, estaban muy fuertes, también con los Imperial Fists, los Ravagers nada más se morían. Especialmente con los Repulsor Executioners, que nada más mataban a mis Ravagers súper rápido. Entonces metí los aviones porque tienen el modificador para pegarles, el -1. Entonces sobreviven un poquito más y cuestan nada más 5 puntos más que un Ravager. Entonces, pues, ¿por qué no? Con 5 puntos más me dan un -1 to hit automáticamente. Entonces estaba bien con eso. Y honestamente metí los Void Raven Bombers por la bomba. Esas bombas están muy fuertes y son muy útiles ahora mismo en el meta, con cosas como paladines que se ponen detrás de la cobertura, que no les puedes disparar, o cosas que se quieren meter al combate cuerpo a cuerpo y quieren quedarse en el combate cuerpo a cuerpo. Entonces, honestamente, las bombas ayudan contra los possessed y contra otras cosas que te quieren atrapar, y pues puedes darles una bomba y matarlos aunque estén en combate cuerpo a cuerpo. Pero honestamente, he estado experimentando otra vez metiendo a los Ravagers en la lista de nuevo. Nada más porque sí están muy fuertes los Ravagers, pero cuando incrementaron sus puntos a 15 puntos por Ravager, como que eso fue demasiado, en mi opinión. No era necesario poner esa restricción en los Ravagers, pero pues, ¿qué se hace, no? Bueno, ojalá eso te ayude. What do you believe the new Fabius might bring? Speculation, of course, but what would you like to see? Fabius Bile's always been like a really cool like iconic character in the Chaos Space Marine lore. You know, with him, like I could see him just bringing or giving extra wounds to his like Chaos Space Marines to make them more like Primaris. Essentially, I think that might be, you know, maybe bring like his unit of experimental Marines out more or whatever. Or them do something very similar to what Marines did, where Cole was like, I've had all these guys hidden away, and we can just grow them really quickly. And here, your chapter is under strength. Here's a bunch of Primaris Marines to fill the gaps, you know, that sort of thing. I could see Fabius Bile doing the same, but for like Chaos being like, I can just regrow all your guys, you know, or whatever, and then have like crazy Primaris style Chaos Space Marines, which I think would be really cool. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Drazar easily got the second most concern in my bash list after the Ravagers. Xandri, yeah. Like Drazar is one of those guys that you just look at and he's like, if you're not careful, he will walk in and just murder like most of your stuff. So people are like, is that Drazar? And you're like, yep. And then the first time he attacks twice or bounces around and murders like 2 different characters or whatever, or he does like 8 to 10 damage to like something, and they're like, holy moly, that guy's nasty. Like, yep, well, yeah, he is. If you can keep him alive for the whole game, it's even better. Because then it's like, he's just murdering everything. It's great fun. Here's a pic of my test rack. Says Prankster. Very cool. Let me take a look at that. Oh, there we go. Open link in your window. Test rack. Oh, cool. I like the skin tone. I think, are you sold on the green, or do you want to make it pop a little more? Or are you going to make the green super bright? So, it looks good. How do you play versus Tau Mission 2 ITC? So, that's the 3 objectives. I play like I play most games when I'm playing against Tau. I try not to play the game for 3 turns. I play very conservatively, and I try to stay away as much as possible while sacrificing 1 or 2 things just to get the middle objective. Okay. You sent me a... oh, there we go. Andrew. Okay, let's go over your list real quick, Andrew. So, Battalion Detachment of Homunculus Urien. 9 racks, 10 racks, 10 racks. 6 grotesques? No. 8 grotesques? 7 grotesques, 7 grotesques. Then a Spearhead Detachment of Eldari. Otark, Spirit Seer, 3 Night Spinners. Then a Vanguard Detachment of Drukari, Archon, Mandrake, Mandrake, Mandrake. And 2 Void Ravens. I really like your list. I really like your list, Andrew. It's an excellent Eldari list. I think you having the grotesques in there really brings out like the toughness of the list, and then having the Night Spinners in there is excellent, especially in the current meta, because you can totally, you know, prevent yourself from getting from people hiding too easily from you. So you can put a lot of pressure on your opponents from far away, and I think that's very, very important right now, especially in the current meta. And then you've got the shooting from the Void Ravens and the Bomb, which really helps in certain matchups like Paladin Bomb and things like that. And you've got Vecht handy. You've got the Mandrakes with some deep striking shenanigans, which are super powerful as well. And yeah, so all in all, I'd give that's a positive list. Mr. Fantastic Ghost says, hey, SkaredCast. Hey, Mr. Fantastic Ghost. In the Shadows says, do you think we'll see more Imperial Space Marine soups now with the Space Marine nerfs? Yes, I do. I think we'll definitely see a combination of lists that are built around maximizing the units that need a certain doctrine for that specific turn or couple of turns. So, or maximize on their main chapter trait instead of their doctrine trait. So you're looking at, Imperial Fist artillery, like Thunderfire cannons for the ignore cover. I think that would be really useful, or things like that. Centurion Assault Squad Raven Guard, so they can maximize on deep striking and the tactical doctrine with their Hurricane Bolters, and then having either White Scars or Black Templars coming in and being annoying in the Assault Doctrine or even Blood Angels, right? Or we'll see what happens with Space Wolves, but I think Space Wolves might be a big contender for that as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I feel like, you know, especially right now, because we're all in like this, we're doing quarantines and whatnot. I feel like the meta is gonna have a chance to like settle down since we don't have a lot of events. I feel like things are really gonna get interesting when we start seeing events again in 4 to 6 weeks, you know, across the globe that are big and whatnot. And then it'll really, like, people who've been able to sit at home and brood over list ideas and whatnot might come up with some really interesting things. So I'm looking forward to how that'll change. So that'll be good. For my Iron Hands, it just means my intercessor will be using bolt rifles as stalkers. I've also seen a lot of people use the auto bolt rifles, which are the 3-shot ones, because they're actually really good. 3 shots a pop at 24 inches, like, and then in you know, Tactical Doctrine they have the AP modifiers. I think that's really powerful. But that's just me. In the shadow, Mr. Games Out of Crack says, "What pink is the one you use on your Drukhari?" I use Tentacle Pink. It's an old Games Workshop paint, not very common anymore, but yes, you can find, I think things are very similar with Army Painter by Yeho Paints, but it's the Tentacle Pink. And I use a combination, so I go like, I'm actually trying to switch it to a more purple, but the pink is, yeah, the pink I really enjoy. It's like, it's just straight up Tentacle Pink. Very bright, very, I'm here. I'm right here. You can't miss me. Because you can't miss him. Literally. Octo Senpai says, "Hey, thanks for the answer with the Orc Buggy. Just want to take the opportunity to say thank you for the content that you give us and keep up the good work." Well, thank you very much, Octo Senpai. The only reason I can do what I do is thanks to you guys. You know, all the Patreon supporters, people who like, share, subscribe, get notified when I go live. You know, that's the kind of stuff.
Here's the water that you want.
Gracias, guapo. That's the stuff that allows me to do what I do. So, you know, if you'd like me to keep on doing what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon, or, you know, sharing this or liking it or leaving comments, that sort of thing.
I'm back.
You're back, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
That
back.
wasn't a half-hour break. That was like a 2-second break.
Okay.
But no, you can stay.
1, 2.
There you go.
I'm back.
You're now back. There you go.
The
Cool.
paint's all dry.
Yeah. Here, let me put a little bit more on there for you.
I
Lord
can
Zuru
do it,
says,
I can do it.
"Are you just a little bit? Don't squeeze it too much.
What does he say?
No, just to squeeze a little bit. No, don't squeeze hard. Don't squeeze hard because it's gonna explode out. Hold on. There you go. Cool. And then give me the cap. The cap, please. There you go.
Alright,
Merci.
gonna use this red?
Says, "Hey SkaredCast, hope you're doing well. How do you use witches in the competitive scene?" So my competitive Drukhari list has a unit of witches in it. Oh, not 1 unit of witches, 3 units of witches. Where's my
And
plate mail?
he has like a sort of
Oh, there it
demon
is.
unit. He has a sort of
Yeah, they're
demon.
called the mandrakes, yeah.
They're super good.
The way I use them is they are going to die because they're so small and piddly, so they're probably going to die anyway. So I basically use them just to hold up units and whatnot. I don't really use them for much else. That is their job, is to hold you up in close combat, pretty much. So I use them as 5-man strong. They have a blast pistol and like a witch special weapon, so there's nothing crazy. They're like 50-some points a pop, and they win me games just by tying up an infantry unit or tying up a character in close combat with their shard nets or whatever, and or even just their regular like witch thing that
My
holds them up in
Sylvaness
combat.
is almost done with the red.
And a lot of the times I'll use them to basically tie up a unit and then have my whole army charge that unit and be like, all my raiders, all my venoms, Just everything tagging this one infantry unit that's
Can I
held
bring down
up. That's held up by one. That's held up by one witch, and then nobody can shoot my stuff that's in combat.
the switch? Can I bring down
So I've done that so many times, it's not even funny. But that's what I use them for. They're like just a technical piece. They also work great to kill little chaff units because they have lots of attacks and they just run in and murder stuff.
Run and murder?
Yeah. Once you're done all that, Ollie, make sure you don't put paint all the way up there. Remember? Look at the paintbrush. Ollie, where's the red supposed to go to? That's inside there. So wash it, please. Make sure the paint only goes in. Matt Vindicavi says, "Hi, Skari. First time catching one of these live. Love your battle reports, mate. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them.
Thank you.
Question for you. Do you think terror tactics will ever be viable for Dark Eldar, even only in casual games?" You know, I feel like if you want to do the terror tactics with the leadership shenanigans, you have to mix it. So you have to do Harlequins, which can do it. Like, Skari that can do it.
Evil girl
They're like...
Harlequin?
No, they're it's a different faction. They're like an elf faction of Harlequins.
I don't even know what Harlequins are.
But yes, I think you could do it. You just have to kind of build your whole list around it. It's very gimmicky.
Oh my God,
Vexed Flame says, considering how GW usually take influence from Adepticon regarding additional changes, which is true, what do you think they may miss due to the lack of data since it was cancelled? You know, I don't know. I'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, hopefully, like, they usually do take a lot of stock from the Adepticon stuff. So we'll see. I really hope, like, my biggest hope is they bring Ravagers back down. Please.
I think it's in the afternoon now.
Huh? It is, no, afternoon in 25 minutes. Still not an afternoon yet.
When is the afternoon? Can I bring down the switch?
Yes, if you want. Sure, but you have to finish all your guys first. So finish those. As soon as you finished all the red on all your guys, then you can go get your. But just take your time with it. Don't rush it. Hey, Alfarius, what's going on?
Hello. Did you like the battle report that we did?
Yeah, Alfarius is Matt. You know Matt. He's the one that plays Sylvanet, like you do. Flood says, "Cheers for checking my list. I just finished painting 15 grotesques. Never used them once, so not really sure what to expect from them. They pass lots of... If you pass lots of saves, they're amazing. If not, they just die."
This is what the people who
Drop the cost of blasters and liquefiers. If liquefiers go down in cost, they might actually be really good.
The people who just joined the stream, this is what I painted.
They can't see it. Hold on.
This is what I like.
There, now they can see it.
This is like a little
See,
red
the camera's
leaf, some
pointing
red
that way.
leaves, some stuff. I did some.
Okay.
Red. I'm gonna do some. I'm just changing the color of the leaves.
There you go. I'm going to be painting more of these little Roman auxilia.
You should try zombies the next army you play. You should play zombies.
Should play an army of zombies,
good.
eh?
They're super good.
Well, I'm thinking of running some zombies once I get Nagash. I think Nagash is going to be one of the next miniatures that I get for myself. For my death, like my death armies.
For your skeletons?
Yeah, well, you know, he can kind of be used
Bagash?
with...
Is his name Bagash?
Nagash.
Is his name Bagash?
Nagash.
Oh, nah.
Na 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 na.
Stop saying that!
Na 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 na.
If you don't stop saying that,
just
I will.
follow me and I'll sing you a song. A love from me.
I don't
to
like.
you.
I don't like the song. Na 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 na.
Do.
I don't like that song. I don't
Helpless
like
Hero says, "I'm so excited to try out Yanari Razorwings." You should be. They are really fun. They're very annoying for your opponent to deal with. And if they have ever faced the birdies before, expect them to try and shoot the birdies to death as quick as possible. Because they are really annoying.
What are very annoying? Skeleton birdies?
They're like skeleton birdies. They just don't die and don't go anywhere. They're just annoying because they're everywhere. It's a different thing of the army.
How many people can you have in that unit?
You have 12, but each one has 4 wounds, so it's like having...
That's so good. If if those 12 models were all one model, that would have like 45 wounds.
It's 36 wounds. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I play Yanari Razorwing, says Annie Malix. Usually
Lose
keep that
any
near a
magnets.
psyker for the 5++. You get 6++ with the incarn nearby as well. Also, the incarn makes them fearless, so you don't have to worry about their morale and leadership,
Fearless.
which is actually really powerful when you're
Fearless
putting it
is
on a
super
screen like that. Especially right now with like armies that rely on like lots of psychic buffs and shooting stuff off the board or whatever. Like having a ton of just ablative wounds that can just sit in the front of the field or whatever.
Wow, this branch witch doesn't.
You know,
he has like
it's
0
crazy
leaves.
good. Okay, what Paul?
This branch witch has like 0 leaves.
0 leaves, so you can't do.
I can't do a lot of leaves. I'm
no.
doing the bug a little bit red because he
Okay.
has leaves on him.
Cool.
It's all green.
The little
so-
spite that she's with.
What spite?
The little sprite. Sorry, it's called a sprite.
It's called a spite. Oh my god, I almost cried.
Oli, tranquilo.
I'm calm now. I'm calm.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Helpless Hero says, I just absolutely love everything about the incarn except
Who's
putting it together.
Helpless
So
Hero?
Skari just gave me extra hope. You're welcome.
Who's Helpless Hero?
The incarn has been great. By the way, I put together the incarn with no instructions.
What in the world? How did you do that?
It was just by dry fitting every piece. It was
Was it
the
hard?
hardest thing I've ever done in gaming because it
In
literally
your whole life?
in hobbying because
In your
every
whole
single piece is so annoying. Well, it took me a long time, and then I found out that the instructions weren't in a pamphlet; they were on the side of the box, and I could have just looked at the side of the box. And I thought they were in a pamphlet, and I couldn't find it, and then I found out that Reddit has this like
That's what a noob
instruction
would do.
manual central where you can
That's
find
what a noob would do.
that you can find all the instructions for things on this Reddit page for like GW stuff.
Daddy?
I was like, well, I could have totally gone there. Nope, no, I
Okay.
didn't. See Whipple.
In the past, were you a noob?
Everybody is a noob when they start at something, Ollie. When you get started, you're learning, you're
When
a
you
noob.
started Warhammer, were you a noob?
Of course
Or
I
a pro?
was.
You were a god at wherever you went.
Mhm. I was just a noob. I learned, and it took me a long time to learn how to play the game.
No,
Took lots of games.
it took me only like five days to learn this game.
Well, the game is easy to learn, Ollie, but it's hard to master.
I
so-
mastered this game because I beat you a lot.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So I think I'm gonna have to smash you next time.
No, you will never smash me.
No?
I'm too
Okay.
powerful. My
gonna
elves
have
are
to
too
see.
powerful. Remember what I said? No 4-horse chariot.
SkaredCast, you're a maniac. That guy's so hard to build. I know. I think I brought it on
That
myself.
was a noob. You
Then
were a
again, I
noob
was
that
so
time.
busy. Oli, no me interrumpas.
Okay.
I was so busy that, like, with work and stuff, that I literally just, like, every once in a while sat down and tried to dry fit a few more pieces, and I was so stressed out in life, and it never
That's
really
weird.
occurred to me, no me interrumpas. It never really occurred to me to, like, find the instructions somewhere. I was just, like, trying to get by every day. Like, this was before I did content like this full time.
That's weird.
Yeah, so yeah, I ended up just kind of doing it step by step, little by little, and eventually I got it done. Still not fully painted. Like, she's painted to a tabletop standard,
Extra
but she's not fully painted.
When
so
you built the thing without instructions, how old were you?
it was like a year ago, Ollie. It wasn't too long ago. It was just a very hard mold to build, is what it was.
Or is it?
It's the swirly demon thing that you've put up before, the one with the swirlies. Looks like a little tornado around
Oh
it.
yeah, and the one with the 2 swords, like the guy had a sword up.
That's
oh,
right.
I know him. Is that from the Drukari or Eldar? Or
That's it's another faction called the Inari.
Inari? I
Yeah.
heard about the Drukari, but not the Inari.
Oh no! Stutter Scrub says those Cavalite warriors look an awful lot like Roman soldiers. They're auxilia, Roman auxilia.
Romans rule.
Helpless Hero says Skari about to bring out the big guns. That's right,
What are guns?
just big guns like the artillery.
Like-
What
like-
would you
like a
say?
big-
What would you say your most memorable game was, and what makes it stand out to you, Matt? What most memorable game? Oh man, I've played lots and lots of memorable games. It's once you've played so much, it's super hard to sort of like narrow it down to like, hey, this was a single game that I thought was really good or whatever. it's mostly, games themselves, when you play so much, tend to like mold themselves together. Just give me a chance to think about it a little bit, and I'll give you some good games. Some of the biggest games or best games that I enjoy remembering, games where the odds are stacked against you as a player, and I think one of my favorite games was when I won the Capital City Bloodbath in 2018. So 2018, I won the Capital City Bloodbath, and I played against Tim, and he was running old school Inari, essentially. And I was running my Drukhari list, fresh off of the ETC when we just come back from the ETC.
Drukhari is too powerful.
And that was probably one of my favorite games because it was such a close match, and I feel like I played that one really well. So that was like my first big major win. I had not like my first put me on the map really when it came to major wins. Another was my first game ever at the ETC, the first time I went, which was in 2018.
I wasn't
So 2018, yeah, you were. 2018, I went to the ETC. My first game was against Blackie, who was on Team Scotland. Very, very good player, and he was one of the play testers for the Harlequin book. And he was playing Harlequins, and I'd never played Harlequins before, and I beat him by 1 point, I believe. And that was a really, really close game. And everybody, that kind of put me on the map at ETC because everybody's like, oh man, you beat Blackie. I was like, yep, I did. Apparently he's a decent player. So he knew what he was doing. So that was a really memorable game.
I can feel it.
And and then in Canada, like when I've played in Canada, there's always like the select few people who you play, who every time you play, it's a fantastic, memorable game. Like every time I play Dustin Henschel from the Stutter Scrub podcast, fellow Team Canada member, he's an excellent tactician, knows what he's doing when it comes to like covering the board with Gene Stealer Cult, and so it's not easy to play against him. So every time I play him, boom, I know it's going to be a good game. So I hope that sort of answers your question, Matt. What was your previous work profession before doing this full time? Says Flood of Red. So I used to do like door-to-door sales and event-based sales.
Yeah,
I used to run like a firm that kind of trained up reps to go and basically do hard sales.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I worked, 70 hours a week, and I worked 70 hours a week, seven days a week, pretty much, and I did that for like 6 years. And it was like feast and famine a lot of the times. And I was really good at the whole sales and stuff like that and training people, and that was like super fun. But the stress of having to deal with just like, very nasty people and having to deal with like, it wasn't a healthy sort of like environment for me in the long run. So about a year and a half ago.
Done on my Sylvaness.
Nice. A year and a half ago, make sure you grab your earphones as well, okay? A year and a half ago, I decided, you know what, I need to shut down like my business. So I shut down my business, and I was like, I'm gonna just jump onto this full time. So, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if people didn't go, you know what, Skari, here's a couple of bucks on the Patreon. That's literally my income. So I'm eternally grateful for everybody who helps out and allows and lets me do the crazy stuff that I want to do, and I hope you find some value in it. And that if I keep on doing what I'm doing and you like it, then that's literally a win for me. But I have never been so happy in my whole life, like in terms of what I'm doing. I wouldn't change it for anything. And it's definitely not the most glamorous. I'm not like going out there and making like, I'm not a millionaire or whatever, but I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. And I feel like we've created a really cool community, and I think that's like the most valuable thing, is just being able, like having built a community with all of you folks. So I know, I get kind of sappy when we talk about stuff like this. Helpless Hero says, how do you manage table control and anti-deep striking with so many transports?
Can you open this?
Oh, you're gonna put it up on this, okay.
Look out for my silverness.
Yeah. Here. Oh. Can you throw the garbage away, please? No, put that on the side there. Yeah, no problem, Helpless Heroes. I'm having a tough time, especially at 1500 points without the racks. So, well, there is a cool video that I've done. Here, put that over there, Ollie. Please. No. That keep close. That's fine. And then I said put the water over there so it doesn't get all watery everywhere.
What water?
You've got the water. Yeah, put it somewhere where...
Next to the dirty water.
Those Cowboy Warriors there. So, put my Incarn. The Warmer says, I just want to say that access to the community Discord is totally worth $5 a month. The early access to content is just a bonus. Thanks, War Mistress.
Thank you for saying that to him.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too because he said
so there is a... Actually, message me Helpless Heroes later and I'll link you up a video that I do on zoning. I have a special tactical Patreon video on zoning the board. And I'll share that with you. Thank you for asking the question. Just send me a message on Facebook or whatever, and I'll just link it up to you so you can use it in your battles.
I'm quite cold.
You're cold?
Are you cold?
No, not really.
Are you a bit?
I'm not cold at all. I'm actually quite comfortable, Ollie.
Could not connect to the internet. Wait, do I have this? Wait, what?
Got some, now's the little details and stuff. This is the stuff that kind of makes it awesome. Flood of Red says, thinking back, how do you rate Canhammer's performance at the team tournament? It seems like Charity Hammer totally owned it. I kept meaning to ask why there was such a gulf. Well, we actually came really close to winning that round against them.
I'm just gonna be right back.
And it was only in generalship that it was a big gulf.
I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Yeah, no problem. They did crush everybody, but that was also because they just came to win it, and they did. They just went out and smashed people. It's totally understandable. We're looking at people who have a hell of a lot more experience than most of the Canadian scene in competitive tournaments, competitive events. And they just went out and they brought all the big guns. And they built very good lists and they applied them very well. There wasn't much else to sort of talk about at that point. That's kind of how that worked. Alferi says, Kimberly was asking who won the Golden Spoon and if they enjoyed it. They did, definitely. I'll send her a message with the name and stuff, but yes, they were super, super excited about it. So I'll make sure that I send her a quick message about that so that she has the info. I also have to see if I can come drop off all the terrain and stuff. But let her know that I will message her, that I've just been, my head's been crazy lately with all the stuff that's been going on and whatnot. Well, I hope you guys are having fun. The stream will go for about another hour or so. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you do add them here. I don't like wasting paint. So a lot of the times you'll see me pull out these sort of models here and do a lot of especially with the metallics or whatever, you'll see me do a lot of this work with the metallics in the models. I ordered some more wildwood, so when they come in, I can take the terrain out with me if you like. Yeah, that'd be great, actually. Well, I can always go down and kind of take a look at it, but I mean, do that. But since wildwoods are the thing to do, Mr. Sylvaneth Wildwood Man, we'll see how that goes, eh? Actually, I'm really excited to see you use those wildwoods. You should totally start like proxying the wildwoods at least for now, just to kind of get the hang of how to use them in your army. I think that would be very useful. Proxying things and getting used to using them in game so that you understand how they interact with your army is super important, especially if you're just practicing games before you buy something. Austin Martin wants to say something. Just tuning in, you working on any Adeptus Sororitas models? Just finished the Triumph and Procession to go with it. It's my secret weapon. You should try it. I have to actually go pick up my Sisters of Battle. They were finished by Dan Platt from Best Overall Painting. I might take a day trip down to London, Ontario and pick them up so I can show them off. But I haven't been painting any Sisters as of late. I've been mostly doing these little Romans, which has been super fun because it's the Ancients game. I've been wanting to play these guys in forever, so I'm really pumped. It's got me on like a little historical kick, a little history binge, which has been awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it's been hilarious. Been like watching so many documentaries and stuff on like Rome and everything's been great. That's right, Matt. You should know. You know how it is. You know what's going on. You know how it is. Look at this. This miniature is one of my favorites. It's like a little freaking skull reloading this revolver. So funny. So funny. Skull reloading a revolver. Oh man. Just shows you how much character some of these models have. It's nuts. Look at that. Little servo skull reloader. Can you imagine? Just stand there. You have to hold perfectly still. The little skull puts bullets back in your pistol while you're shooting with one hand. And then you switch hands and shoot with the other one when it's reloaded. That's cool. My wife's shows all got canceled because she does shows at like bars and stuff. So, you know, that's usually a really nice bit of disposable income. So I can only imagine how people have been, like extra income, sorry. It's been really, you know, to see how people have been affected by like all the stuff that's happening right now. Yeah. But I will be here every day. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing either these streams or we will be doing live battle reports and things like that. So, or I'll be filming bat reps or doing tacticas or whatever, or painting. So, you know, hopefully this can help you pass the time and, you know, you get some benefit out of it. So, I don't know what the hell's going on upstairs, but something's banging pretty heavy up there. So, my advice on metal paint, says Nuno, says try Vallejo Metal Color Series. Very good. The gold is a bit green, but add some copper and it's all good. Nice. Definitely have been expanding my paint sort of like repertoire. And War Mistress sent me some Vallejo paints, and I really like them actually. I've been using a combination of Army Painter, Vallejo, Reaper, GW. So I'm no longer sort of like a snob when it comes to like, I'm only going to use Games Workshop paints. So I have opened my eyes to new possibilities. But at the moment, to be honest, I just paint with what I have available. You know, I'm not choosy or picky when it comes to my paints. So I'm like, if this is a silver, I'll make it work. If this is a gold, I'll make it work. And I'm a big fan of washes because everything kind of looks better after a wash or you know, stuff like that. So yeah, you know, Nothing crazy, but you kind of understand how that goes, I would only imagine. As you can see, I'm just doing the main colors and stuff here, mostly because I don't want to waste paint. So I like making sure that I have a couple models on hand that I can use some of the colors that I'm working on, so I can kind of use up a lot of the stuff that I mixed in or whatever, so I don't waste paint. Especially now, since who knows when we're going to be able to restock up on paint and stuff, so, you know, might as well maximize on it and not be wasteful. Also, Disney Plus has been a great help. Being able to watch all these Simpsons episodes has been super fun. Self-isolating over here, says Matt. Lucky I just got given a load of models and I need to get my list repainted for my first tournament. Nice. Void Wraith says, I thought about using a model counts as Kellamorph when I couldn't find a Kellamorph. Oh yeah, this? Oh yeah, she would make a great Kellamorph. Kellamorph is a little smaller, I think, but a little stockier. But definitely with the double pistols, totally works like a Kellamorph. You just have to paint her skin, you know, paint her skin a little, paint her skin, you know, Gene Stealer Culty, and then you're good to go. It's actually really cool. By the way, we're probably, once the isolation stuff dies down and it's spring, we are going to be doing our streaming Blackstone Fortress series again. For anybody who missed it, check it out. It's on a playlist on the YouTube channel. It's really fun. We basically spent like 12 sessions or 9 sessions or something playing the entire Blackstone Fortress from start to finish. So that was super fun. So if you like RPG style streams, like, check that out, because we spent a lot of time hanging out and rolling dice and playing the game. Mark, hello, Ruby86. Mark says, watching your bat reps played a major role in getting me back into the hobby, and I've learned a ton in terms of playing Drukhari. I love your content. Well, thanks, Mark. Really appreciate the comment there. Arbery says, what are you painting? I'm painting the Rogue Trader from the Escalation set from Blackstone Fortress, so from the Escalation expansion. She is the Rogue Trader from that set. And, well, I'm also painting some Romans,
Just so you
which
know,
is like
I'm
my
playing.
main paint. You're playing, which is fine. That's
Please
my son,
follow.
Ollie.
Please follow his channel.
You heard the lad.
Please follow his channel.
Click that sub and notification button.
And don't forget to like all the videos.
Don't forget to like everything. And
if you do not like everything,
it.
I'll pie myself in the face.
Reed says, dry brushing is a marketing scam to sell more paint. There you go.
That's not true.
Washes are GW propaganda. I know they are. You want to do mostly glazes and stuff. I get it. I like the propaganda. It makes me smile inside. Because it's easy.
I can do same move on you if I want it.
Super easy. That's what I say. Mana, do. I will say there's a lot of metallic on this model. So I might as well start working on the metallics. Right? That's right. Lord Zurus asks, Lord Zurus asks, what is the best way to differentiate squads for your Drukhari? Finding a way to split up my squads without my opponent getting confused. I use the squad marks from Squad Marks. So they're little markers that you can put around the base of a model and you can paint them different colors. Then again, I go to a lot of tournaments, so that's kind of like how it's good for tournament play, because it means that I'm using less. Deja de hablar cuando estoy hablando, señor. Por favor, no me interrumpas. When I have like that whole So I've got red squad, green squad. So in a tournament play, it just means it's a lot easier to differentiate everything. Saves you brain power. It's one of the reasons I started doing that about 2 years ago. I started with rubber bands, right? Like putting rubber bands around. Now I use a combination. Normally I try to use as many squad marks as possible, just because they look classier than rubber bands. But you can use rubber bands. Like LVO said, no rubber bands because it looks bad. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you can differentiate the squads, I don't care. You know, as long as you're not confusing like your 100 Gretchen in 10 different squads, right? And they each have a color code and they're all rubber banded. It's a lot easier for me as an opponent, so that we're not confused, being like, how many have I killed from that squad and how many have I killed from that squad, and just saves time. And another thing you could do is probably do like shoulder pad colors, like do or helmet colors. You know, you could do it more. You know, if your squads don't change in terms of composition too much, that's another way of doing it. You could go more and more subtle if you want, but it really just depends. Game says, un saludo de tu fan número uno de Torreón, México. Mario, you are the best.
What did that even mean?
Gracias. Es un saludo. Voy a hacer unos videos en español también para todos para todos los jugadores de habla hispana.
¿Sí?
Para que todos puedan ver los videos en español.
No.
Entonces voy a tratar de hacer unos videos, especialmente ahora que estamos todos en cuarentena. A ver cómo funciona todo esto al nivel mundial. Pero el juego no cambia mucho en inglés o en español, pero si se puede ver algo en español, que sea más fácil aprender, ¿no? Mejor. Cosmic Boosie subscribed to tier 1. 8 months. 8 month streak. Holy moly. Thank you so much for the resubscription on Twitch. Cosmic Boosie. 7 months. 8 months, sorry.
Bravo.
8 months of putting up with me.
Bravo
and my crazy antics.
Bravo for making so many videos.
Oh my goodness. That is nuts.
And bravo for making 16,000 subscribers.
Hey, Mole Security. What's going on? Nice to see you. We got washes or liquid talent.
Washes are liquid and then you scrub them on your face?
No, the washes that you put on the model. Remember how we did the washes and the models and they look really good?
Yeah, I remember.
But of course, if you ask Matt or a couple of guys, Frankie McShanky, I think, was one of the main proponents of washes being propaganda.
I'm the first one who ever knew about washes.
Yeah, first one ever, even before I taught you how to use them? Oh, wow.
I already knew, I just told you.
You already knew, okay, so I just reminded you the washes existed. That makes sense. In an 8-year-old's mind. Sure. This is one of my favorite little models as well. The Daedalosus is the actual Daedalosus model. I do shoulder pads as squad marks, says War Mistress.
What are shoulder pads?
So like armor plates on the shoulder, which a lot of armies have. Your army doesn't, because your army is just full of trees.
Hey, my army not just full of trees.
Well,
it's more than trees.
It is more than okay. Sorry.
It's also elves.
Elves, okay. Well, elves do have armor plates, but you don't have enough units to really do squad marks.
Hey,
but normally what you would do is put like a banner or something in a different color for each squad, or their robes would be a different color or something.
Wait, do they have banners in elves?
Yeah, they have banners and stuff.
I want to get a banner unit.
Yeah? Well, we'll get you a banner
unit. My
unit.
Sisters of the Sword has
They have a banner. Yeah, remember? They have a nice big banner that helps them do stuff.
And it's a wizard unit. I have a wizard unit.
It's an actual unit of models that is like a wizard, which is crazy good.
They have a spell. They have 1+1 bravery.
They do. Keeps them nice and the banner gives them +1 bravery, Ollie. Or the musician does, one or the other. Just stops them from running away as easily.
Thank you, teammate 2.
Ronald Hand asks, do you have any recommendations for grotesque proxies? Do you think they will release plastic grotesques in the near future? Well, a lot of people build grotesque conversions more than proxy grotesque, but they convert them out of either Bullgrin, Ogrin, crypt wraiths, or crypt ghouls, or crypt horrors. Like they're essentially a Age of Sigmar unit, which is if somebody could link up a picture to them or whatever, they're like long and lanky. And then what you do is you mix those miniatures with leftover pieces from the Talos kit, because the Talos kit comes with a ton of pieces like extra face plates and claws and injectors and vials, and so you can just essentially glue these on to these miniatures, and it makes for a really cool conversion that's relatively inexpensive considering how expensive resin grotesques are, right? So that would be my recommendation. You can find a whole bunch of them like online if you just kind of Google grotesque conversion. I'm sure you'll find some really cool, easy, and they're not hard to do. They're actually quite easy to do. So you'll have grotesques in no time. Rat Ogres from Voidwraith. Me llamo Voidwraith, no hablo español. Español es muy difícil. That's all I remember from 3 years of high school. Well, you wrote it down well, so I'll give you props for that, Voidwraith.
My eyes are hurting for some reason.
Yeah. Why don't you take a break from? Why don't you take a break from playing video games, buddy? Oh yeah. So your eyes don't hurt enough to stop just yet.
Hey, you took my spot. Not you. I'm not talking to you. Okay.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, your spot. What are you talking about?
I was talking to my teammate. He blocked me away.
It's not very cool.
Oh, I've almost killed it. 10 more seconds left.
Archon Prankster just put a bunch of links up in the Twitch for that. So thanks, Archon Prankster.
Daddy, give me a pinky promise for good luck.
Pinky promise for good luck. Good luck. Good luck with your destroying the aliens.
It's actually a dragon that was it.
Good luck destroying the dragon with your Kirby monsters or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's called Team Kirby.
Nuno says, I use milliput and green stuff to add some custom things, usually tubes for caps. Nice. Helpless Hero says, I love the Ogre Gluttons. Awesome for conversion since you get a bunch of monstrous cleavers as well. Nice. Yeah, so there are a lot of options when it comes to grotesques. However, I do hope that they release them in plastic, but I could see them doing
plastic? Why do you want them in plastic?
It's a lot easier to build plastic miniatures than other stuff.
Metal.
Like metal or resin. Because resin looks great, but it's really hard. It can be hard to work with and convert, and it's usually expensive. So that's why plastic is usually better. Ve a comer entonces. Si tienes hambre.
This is the done time of my time that I'm going to do.
Yeah, you're gonna go upstairs. Are you done then? Say goodbye to everybody if you're done for the day.
Bye, guys.
Say I'll see you tomorrow.
Week.
Next week. Next week. You mean tomorrow?
Next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the True Born.
I'm very weird.
He just said he's very weird. But I'm excited to have you guys all be a part of the streams and stuff. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and being a part of our hobby stream as we'll self-isolate and do what's right for the community at large to help this pandemic pass without overloading our healthcare system. In the meantime, we can fix every problem that we know with the one thing that we know will fix every problem, which just happens to be #, just put paint on it. Mark says, Grotesques have an amazing art style and their minis are nice, but they really need more variation. Having all of them in the same pose and only available in Resolute was a bad call. Well, back in the day, that's kind of how that worked. And Matt has the right question. Hashtag just put paint on it. That is right. That is literally the motto that we live by on the stream here. Hashtag just put paint on it. Can't pay your rent? Hashtag just put paint on it. Can't buy food? Hashtag just put paint on it. Apparently can't go to work because the entire world is shutting down due to a global pandemic? Hashtag just put paint on it. That is our solution. Look at that. Are you going to oil wash that AdMech? Oh, 100%. He gets... This is just the base coat. The base coat looks terrible when you're doing a base coat. It looks like, you know, you block out the colors. You know, this is just like the initial part of painting something like this. You know, it looks terrible for a bit. Then you start getting the details or whatever, and eventually, you know, you can get you do the washes and or the glazes in the case of if you think washes are propaganda, which case you can do glazes and whatnot, and just bring the colors up to whatever like color you want, and then you can go from there. Personally, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna wash the miniature. Sorry, Matt. It's just I have been consumed. He needs crying. Coronavirus is the precursor to Nurgle's invasion. Nurgle suddenly gets a bonus in-game for everything. Flood of Red says, SkaredCast, you should try the Lord of the Rings GW game if you haven't. Really good game, nice change of pace. It's 40k Sigmar, so similar. Correct. I ran out, did one last paint buy before the shutdown. Ready to put paint on stuff for a while now, says Mole Security. Nice. Well, welcome to the stream, which is what we're going to be doing for a while. I should probably switch this over again so you can kind of see me do some stuff on this side. Ooh, flip it over. There we go. Boop. And then that's my, I should probably put it a little bit further back or whatever. That's the, I'm actually using my wet palette more today because I was like, I'm going to use my wet palette, which has been nice. I've enjoyed using my wet palette. Alfarius is laughing because he knows I'm right. And drinking some of my tea. Ah. And some water. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do on these little Romans is a lot of their leather. So I'm going to get the leather color, which is over here, leather brown from Army Painter. Matt says, what do you think, and that's Matt Vindicavi, not Alfarius Matt, says, what do you think of the recent direction of the lore away from adult references to 40k? Do you think it widens the appeal? Does it undermine the grimdark setting that drew in players, Slanesh, etc.? Well, you know, as the game has become more widespread, I feel like they have to sort of adapt and change, especially if they want to, like, capture a younger audience. And then capturing a younger audience is a better business decision in terms of business. I feel like, you know, I don't think, like, it's their IP, so they can literally change it to whatever they want over time, right? So, I'll live with it. I know that Slanesh is messed up. I know that Dark Eldar messed up, you know? Like, it's not like I'm going to go around being like, nope, we're now the nicest people in all the land. No, like, Dark Eldar still are really mean. They go around, like, doing unspeakable things to just people in general. Because they're Dark Eldar and they're cruel. Like, that's literally what they do. But, so we'll kind of see how that interacts with the game itself. So, but no, I'm not, like, I have no hard feelings about it at all. Wasn't really something that I thought about, to be honest. But that's okay. Okay, so now to do some really cool leather pieces. Leather, 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 leather. Where be? Oh, that's right. They've got little sandals. Yeah, sandals. Tiny sandals, eh? When did you think you were going to be painting tiny Roman sandals one day? I didn't. Apparently it's a thing. Painting tiny Roman sandals. Awesome. Ronald says, do you think they'll retcon the Dune Rider and Disintegrator and give them the fly keyword? I don't know. You know, if they don't give them the fly keyword because they don't want like the Dune Rider to like just be flying around like crazy, they might do something like you know, allow them to fall back and still shoot. I think that would be a good compromise, personally. You know, I think it's okay to be flexible that way. No problem, Alferis. We'll see you. Need to put your little guy down for a nap. That's nice. That's nice. You know, after this, I'll be setting up, do coaching calls for the rest of the day. And then I'm gonna see if I can come back to do a PM stream, which I think would be really good to maybe do double streams as this pandemic is happening, to just kind of give you guys something to hang out with and whatnot. Then again, whoever is like, if you didn't catch this live and you've just put this on and you're kind of like just listening to it in the background while you're painting or whatever, hey, thanks for using me as a tool for your entertainment while you're just chilling, hanging out at home. Hey, BP Edwards, what's going on? It was so nice to see you at the bash. I'm glad you're having fun. I hope things are going well. But so if you guys have been working on something while we've been doing the stream, you know, feel free to leave a comment and link up a picture or something like that so we can all kind of take a look at what you've been working on and what you've been doing. It's always nice to see what your fellow gamers are getting done in the hobby. So I'm appreciative of what you want to share. So the bash really liked the 4 on day 1 format. You liked the 4 on day 1? Nice. That's good. I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback on that, actually. I like the 4 on day 1 so that you can, like, day 2, you know, you just get 2 games and boom, you're just, like, done. And then you go home and, you know, and that's it. You don't have to worry about, like, having to stay till 6 p.m. on a Sunday. Like, everybody was out by, like, 4:30, 5, got home okay. You know, it's like, okay, great. And then you have dinner with the family or whatever. Boom, super simple. Currently painting a bunch of witches, says Mark, and Kit Bash Succubus for an upcoming game on Saturday. Having the stream in the background is great for motivation. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're finding some motivation and just listening to me chat, basically, and talk. sometimes I feel how many people get annoyed at my voice after they listen to my voice, you know, for too long. They're like, ah, just shut this guy up already, you know? Is that a normal thing to think? I don't know. And then when I really get quiet during the stream and it's just running because I'm so focused on like painting details or whatever, and I get super quiet, you know, I'm like, well, how many people just go, okay, time to turn it off to something else? I'm literally just like when, you know, getting really intense with all the details on the model. Well, I'm really excited to get these guys all done. They're like super simple, but super cute. Hey, Shadizo, what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I think everyone dislikes their own voice to some extent, so that's probably normal. Oh, that makes sense. Didn't really change what I was doing on Saturday and got to be home in time for dinner. There you go, exactly, BP Edwards. Bah, stay on as long as you wish. We're just hanging out. Exactly. I like the whole hanging out thing of our stream, you know. Just creating a community. Thanks, guys. By the way, if you didn't know, I do have a merch store, which I believe is still active right now, even during the coronavirus. If you want to help me out and you want to get some merch, go over to the Dream Tea merch store, and the link is on YouTube in the video description. And get yourself some objectives or a cool like hoodie or some sort of thing that you can use. Some mats or gaming stuff or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Plugging the merch. Did that check. Only took me an hour and 45 minutes. Boom. Did you guys talk about the Orc preview already? The integral 2d3 pick for Ludas is going to be super helpful. No, we haven't. It probably just got released while we've been on stream, and I haven't had a chance to go and check it out. But yes, making things that are useful, like giving, like it's really going to be like what sort of stratagems do they have. If that's one of the stratagems, I could see that being really useful so that you can just guarantee that your big Luda bomb gets like really good, you know, really good rolls and stuff. That's fantastic. That's really useful. Be like, hey, my Ludas are going to make sure that they roll crazy good so they get tons and tons of shots. Then again, the thing is, Ludas, you know, they're good, but they don't really do what they used to do with the advent of cover. If you could do something that could, like, deny cover or whatever, take it away from those crazy Space Marines, because then Space Marines still have their saves against Ludas, right? And then it just makes their efficiency go way down. Which is how it works. Oh, I have to do all their little things as well. Dream Tea store vendor Skari. Thanks, War Mistress. Appreciate it. sharing the store link on the Twitch page. Thanks. It's cool. Every once in a while, I get an email being like, "One of your items was sold at the store." I'm like, yeah. I just like seeing, like, at an event or whatever, I like seeing people using, like, SkaredCast objectives. I'm like, alright. Also, the SkaredCast dice, they were getting made before this whole, like, crazy pandemic thing happened. So, I have everybody's orders. We're only getting 1,000 dice. There's already 500 of the 1,000 dice, like, SkaredCast dice. They are accounted for, so they've been like, Patreons got the first dibs. So there's 500 dice just in the Patreons that wanted dice. As soon as I get an update on what's going on, I'll open it up to the rest of the public, and I'll only have another 500 dice basically left. So it'll be first come, first serve when I make the announcement. If you want a cool set of SkaredCast dice. I'm really pumped for. because they look awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. We also have our Team Canada dice, which got made. However, right now we're still waiting to see what happens with the WTC, right? With all this stuff, there's like events being canceled, being pushed back, like all this stuff. So we'll see what happens as this pandemic either gets contained or grows. Can I order Age of Sigmar objective markers with the SkaredCast logo on them? That's actually something we are going to be doing next. So the answer will be yes, Matt. Yes, you will be able to. Because we will be able to. Oh man, May tournament Ottawa was canceled. Yeah, that happens, you know, it's like you have no idea what's happening right now, so better be safe than sorry, especially with all the crazy that's going on. We can always reschedule tournaments and, but we can't make you not sick. The same with the tournament that I was running at the Mini Wargaming Bunker. I'm pretty sure that's going to get canceled. That's, early April. So, and then the Hooded Goblin, the Stutter Snotling just got rescheduled and pushed back to October. And that was a whole convention, right? So some, we're all making sacrifices for the greater good to make sure that our healthcare system doesn't get overwhelmed, so that people who need care can get care, so that we don't run out of ventilators and stuff like that for people who are super sick. Are there pics of these dice anywhere? Yes, I can post a pic up later. I can always be tempted by dice. All the hobby stores locally closed their gaming areas. We need to learn and lean into the hobby aspect. Yep, that's kind of what we're doing here. What are we doing? Hashtag, just put paint on it. Boom, nailed it again. What do you do? Hashtag, just put paint on it. Where do we want it? Now. These are so fun. I've really been enjoying this game called DBA, De Bellis Antiquitate, or Old Wars, essentially, I guess is what it stands for. But it has been super fun to learn because it's a super simple game to learn. However, it's got a lot of intricacies, so it's super hard to master. Dean McDeath, new tower involved. The new tower involved where? My local game source respond old tabletop Magic Gathering events and stuff for the foreseeable future, says Reed 91. Yeah, 100%. That's kind of what this is happening. We're all doing periods of self-isolation. We're all going to be hanging out. So, when that happens, we all get to hang out here, and we have a simple solution for all the world's problems, which is a solution that I've been preaching for the last year and a half, which is all together now. Just put paint on it. Yeah, it's not going to heal you, but at least it'll help you pass the time. Stressed out? Hashtag just put paint on it. Time at home? Don't know what to do with yourself? Hashtag just put paint on it. Marital issues? Hashtag just put paint on it. Somebody brought all the toilet paper from your store and hoarded all the meat? Hashtag just put paint on it. By the way, just buy what you need, guys and girls out there. Don't hoard a bunch of supplies that you don't need. You know, they've made statements saying the supply chain has like minimal disruption. At least right now, things are stocked. There's food, so don't go out and just like clear shelves for the sake of clearing shelves. It's so irresponsible for people who actually need the food. You know, like we went to buy like wipes because my cat's sick and we needed wipes to help the cat because it was shitting everywhere, and literally like wipes are sold out like everywhere. It's like, what the fuck? What if you had like a baby and you needed like baby wipes and somebody went in and cleared out all your baby wipes? Silly. So silly. No? You said for the greater... Yeah, that's true. For the greater good. Tao were definitely involved, right? Actually, it's funny. I live in Simcoe County here in Canada. And Simcoe has the motto is for the greater good, which is really funny. I thought that was hilarious when I moved here, and I still think it's hilarious every time I drive by that big sign. It says for the greater good. I'm like, Tao! Tao everywhere. It's literally what I think. I meant the new coronavirus was the Tao's fault. Ah, makes sense. So we're going to be finishing up the stream as soon as I've finished this. I'm going to be doing the washes on these guys, and we're going to be finishing up the morning stream or the early afternoon stream. So, you know, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. You know, head on over to the Patreon page if you'd like to support me and what I do on Patreon. And join the Denizen community today to be a part of what we do. I'm always looking for suggestions and advice. And if there's something that you'd like to see me do during this like series of quarantines and self-isolations and things like that, like if there's you know, if there's a game you'd like me to teach you how to play, or a video you think would be cool for me to do, or a stream like theme that you'd like me to do as well, don't be shy. And you know, make sure you post something up so that we can kind of work towards something, which I think would be really good for everybody. So, other than that, I hope you guys stay safe out there. You know, there's you make sure you wash your hands 20 seconds with hot or hot warm water or whatever to, you know, make sure that you get like sterilize your hands. And even if you don't think you'll get sick, you know, be respectful for people around you who will or can get sick. You know, young people, old people that have, you know, anybody with respiratory issues. And just hashtag put paint on it, folks. If you don't know what to do with yourself, just hang out with me. Just put paint on stuff. Like that, we can all get through this together. Yep. Rack update. Nice. Ooh, excited to see your update. I like rack updates. You're gonna rack up those updates, are you? Yes, being a new dad, good thing a week ago we stocked up on baby wipes and formula. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. I know certain places are like instituting like times where you can go and actually buy stuff at certain times so things don't get like completely out of whack or whatever. So I think that's very important. Now I've got the Indiana Jones theme stuck in my head. Why? Why would I have Indiana Jones stuck in my head right now? Hashtag just put paint on it. That's why. You'll post it to the Discord work in progress. Nice. I always like it when folks put up like what they're working on and whatnot. Looks really good. I think today I'm also gonna prime all the shields for these guys. So go ahead and prime them all. Get them ready for painting. because then I can actually do all the shields, do the shields, put the shields on there. Boom, instantly done. Then I have, oh, so cool. I love these little miniatures. They're so sexy. Like, and then I've been going back and painting like 40K miniatures, and I'm like, man, these are like huge miniatures. I can actually see all the details and stuff. So I've been accustomed to painting tiny little fucking Romans. Pardon my French. First swear word of the day goes to Skari. This is a family-friendly stream, folks. Now I'm just rambling, I think. Ask me questions. Come on, let's get some discussion going here before I insult more people. With my crazy, awesome, insulting voice. Rah, 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 rah. Don't forget, drill your gun holes. Oh, I'll drill your gun holes. Oh, wait! You meant gun hose. No. Ah, we're getting silly. I kind of like the color that I did for these guys' shields, like a teal that I kind of mixed in with some green to do like an aqua. They're probably going to be more blue than this, but I needed something that was like a good bright color that I could kind of rely on to just be different than the red of the Romans, because the Romans are all going to be in like red, right? So I just need something a little different there. And then we got these guys getting all up and ready, being like, let's go on campaign. You know, there's actually DBA campaigns as well you can play. Never played one before, but I think that'd be really fun. Mark says, I love how you've only just noticed a few F's and Dms. I've been sneaking their way into your ramblings. Yeah, well, I do have a trucker mouth, so I am sorry if I've insulted any of you. I tend to be really honest and like vocal about stuff when I need to be. I don't really have like I try and be, you know, as polite as possible. However, you know, when I get going, I get going. So I do apologize if I have inconvenienced or uncomfortabled any of you. Of course, if you're hanging out with me, it's your damn choice. Okay, well, that's that. Now I need to do a little bit of work on these horse saddles. Excuse me, holy moly. And I really need to go to the bathroom. So I am probably going to be speeding this up more than I probably should. Because I really need to go to the restroom. And that's usually the cue when it's been about 2 hours, because my body has literally been used to doing it for a certain amount of time, and then it was like, okay, time's done. Time's done. You're done. Time to go to the restroom and shut everything down. Still need to do all this horse and stuff. You say you were streaming again later, says Mole Security. So while this is going on, I'm going to try and see if it's possible for me to fit into like family and stuff, if I can do 2 streams a day, especially since we're doing these crazy isolations and stuff like that. I think it might be really useful for everybody involved to maybe potentially have the ability to have 2 streams in a day so that we can, you know, sit down, relax, paint, and all that stuff. If I do 2 streams, one stream will be like this, which will be a restream between YouTube and Twitch. The second one will be just a Twitch stream. So if you want to kind of be a part of that, then make sure you are subbed or following on the Twitch feed so we can all hang out together. I just don't want to overload the YouTube with a bunch of streams, essentially, is what I'm thinking here. Ta-da! Personally, don't mind. Super surprised since I've never heard you swear before. Yeah, well, normally I usually keep it very kosher on the when I'm doing battle reports and stuff. I don't, you know, I try to keep my battle reports as family friendly as possible. But yes, on live stream, yes, I do know swear words. So, you're welcome. So I hope you enjoy that little you know, insight into Skari's crazy potty mouth. Okay, so I got this. I have the soft tone here. Oh shoot! Totally missed that guy's nub. That's fine. I'll do it now. That doesn't look like Dark Eldar. Well, no, Sherlock. Thanks for the comment, Crystal. I am definitely not painting Dark Eldar right now. I'm definitely painting Romans, because Romans are boss. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Name dropping Vet Lilith all the way no Eldar. What do you think of Inari lore? Silly's good. Exhaust pops it more. Super good detail. What do I think about Inari lore? As a name dropping back to Lilith, all the Eldar lore. Read the character bios, Phoenix Rising. So I like the Inari stuff, to be honest. I think it's cool. Like I think it's neat. You know what I mean? Like I like it when things like that get sort of like, I don't know. I'm a fan of the Inari. I like kind of how the whole army works. I like kind of like how it stands for and what it stands into and whatnot. But I do like the Inari lore, which is good for me, because I think it's awesome. Okay, let's let this guy dry. Let's let that guy dry. Done. Let's do some of this stuff. Okay, let's do this here. So, always good to have like a little cap like this. This is a little thing that I learned. Put your wash. I'm using Quick Shade Soft Tone from Army Painter. Has quickly become one of my favorite like shades, one of my favorite ones to use. And then you just dunk them essentially. You know, get them nice and dunked up, and that's it. You can always do work with it later, but the soft tone I find is like my favorite with the way that these models work. It's not too dark. Kind of brings out the vibrancy and the color. Where it highlights all the different colors that I've used and goes on really nicely. Doesn't pool where I don't want it to pool. You know, brings out the details that I missed. Covers all the little mistakes up, which is super important because I don't like mistakes. Well, we don't like mistakes. That's why things like this I find super important. Yes, they might be propaganda by the game companies to make you buy a bunch of paints or whatever, because it's literally just liquid paint essentially. But I kind of like these shades. They look cool. They make my life easier, and I buy into them. So all the power to me then. All the power to me. So what's your favorite shade or wash? Like my favorite GW one is definitely Agrax Earth Shade. Yeah, that's probably like my favorite just in general. Because it's the most utilitarian one that I use. It just goes on everything. So. Do you think they could expand the Inari line with something other than characters? Is there a need for that? Yes, I think they could definitely make them very fluffy. Like they could have like unique Inari units, you know, like a combination of like, you know, aspect warriors combined with like witches or incubi, you know, like, and then have like their own Inari martial, like, you know, a martial unit. You know, I think that would be really cool. Like when you think about it, but you'd kind of have to build lore around it, really. You know, like, yeah, like, it's just there's so much Eldar stuff already. It's kind of hard to justify. Here's more Eldar, you know, because it's just another flavor of Eldar, and it's a way of playing all your Eldar together in like a fluffy way. And I feel like it's more designed to be like more of a story-based faction than it is designed to be like a very competitive faction. I don't know. I think there are definitely things that GW could do with the range of Inari. But who knows what they'll decide to do, right? I don't like wish listing as much as you might think, because then I'm never like um, dissatisfied when something doesn't happen or whatever, right? And that's good for me. Ta-da! First unit of Auxilia washed onto the second unit of Auxilia. Mark says, my favorite wash is Strong Tone, which is like Devlin Mud. I use for my bronze areas. Nice. Garbanzo Bean Donut. There are 3 factions worth of Inari stuff. Elderly Burning Need. Friendly Eldar Soup. Correct. Friendly Eldar Soup. They can be like Deathwatch for Eldari. All of the best things. Yeah, you know, you kind of build them up to have a bunch of different things, like a combination. You can mix and match all the coolest things and kind of have like a lore excuse to run all the coolest things together. Right? Want Dark Reapers and Incubi, or want, you know, Ravagers and Dark Reapers, and not be like, oh, it's just a mishmash of them all being allied. But be like, no, there's an actual lore component to this, because they are definitely all Inari, so they all follow the same faction. They're not allied, right? So that's kind of cool. You've got Cat Lady in there, or the Incarn, right? Making everybody just like zealous, you know, following the death of all Eldari brings about their rebirth or whatever. I've been reading the book, the Inari. I actually helped build a list for someone who was inspired by the book and was like, hey, I'm inspired by this book, so I want to build a list that has all this stuff on it or whatever. So I was like, cool. We built a cool Inari list with a couple of cool combos in there based around the book. I became a fan of oil washes and of AK Interactive Streaking set. Interesting. I wish they'd convert all aspects to plastic. Well, hopefully they will. You know, like there's like precedent now with all the Inari stuff they did. It's only a matter of time before they sort of start like working that in, right, to the rest of the range. You know, if they did it for Banshees, then striking Scorpions and Dark Reapers and things won't be far behind. But I could see them waiting for to release it over time, because they're probably already built, the design's probably already done. If they've done the Banshees, then for sure the other ones are already done. They're just waiting for their release date, or they have ideas of when to release stuff like this, right? So it all kind of fits into their release schedule, which I think is super important. They are a company, after all. They want to, make sure that they are keeping the investors happy and things like that. So we'll see how that works over time and how that impacts the release. It's like the Dark Eldar set. When all the new Dark Eldar stuff came out, all the stuff had been ready for years. They were just waiting for the time. Same as the Tyranids. The old Tyranid stuff, they was already ready. They were just waiting to release it for years. It's kind of how that worked. I'm glad they started with Banshees. They were always my favorite. Yeah, they're pretty cool, Banshees are pretty neat. Anyway, I'm going to go hit the restroom real quick because I cannot hold it any longer. Ask me a bunch of questions. I'll be right back. Not finished. Okay, I'm back. If you can hear me, then it's okay. Because I have returned. Okay. Whew. I'm in isolation in the UK with the coronavirus. Fingers crossed so far hasn't been too bad. Hail Hydra. Well, hopefully, you're feeling a little better. Sorry to hear that you got it. It does spread like the common flu, so it's definitely super contagious in that sense. However, it has the capacity to really make you ill. So, good luck. Good luck. If you need anything, we're here for you, man. And everything's been pretty crazy. So, this will be our isolation station, where we do live streams while we get through it at an international level. So, if you know anybody who likes hobbying and wants to hang out and have a series of people just like hang out with them or whatever, we're all gonna be here doing some painting and kind of supporting each other as this blows over, and we do the right thing for the community by staying out of the hospital and not continuing to make the disease spread like cray. Yeah, no problem. Hail Hydra. Stay safe. Make sure you drink lots of water and try and eat fruits and veggies and stuff to make sure that your immune system give it as best a chance as you can from getting really sick. And hot lemon and honey is what I would usually drink. Hot lemon and honey. It's like an instant cure because it's so chock-a-block with deliciousness that your body needs when you're sick. So Tech Green, thanks. What's about? Love how they came out. I'm assuming we're talking about this rack that you did. If there was a lot of chats, then I totally missed a bunch of stuff. Welcome back. Yay, thanks, bud. Yeah, I was away from keyboard for a little bit. But I'm back now. I have returned. I have returned to my seat. I feel a lot more relaxed now, so I can actually focus instead of having to really go to the bathroom and totally not being able to focus on doing these washes. So I was like, I really need to pee. But that's done now. Thank goodness. Ay, look at them go. Good old Roman auxilia. Probably not the modern advice though. That's true. Hot lemon and honey is definitely not the modern advice. It's like an old school thing. But think about it. You got honey, you got lemon. It's nice hot water. So you're staying hydrated. You're drinking like a shot of vitamin C, right? You've got to give your body a chance to fight stuff. You know what I mean? Like, your meds are good and stuff, but you just have to help yourself as well. Like, do what the doctor tells you. But there's nothing wrong with fruits and veggies. And it's nothing unless you're allergic to fruits and veggies, in which case, I'm sorry to hear that you're allergic to fruits and veggies. Good old Roman auxilia. I'm so excited to show off these guys. I love you, but I feel like everything you paint is black and gold. Huh? Actual quote. I find that I've been painting a lot of silver and stuff lately just because I've been doing all these little Romans. And then sometimes I felt like I was painting a lot of green just because I literally painted my Dark Eldar green, and it was like my main army, so I just felt like I got really, really good at painting green in general. You know, and then sometimes you try and avoid green in other projects because you're like, ugh, I'm so sick of painting green. But then, like, you're really good at painting green, so why not paint green if you want it to look good, right? Does that logic make any sense to you, folk? Does that logic make any sense? It does in my head. So, they also decided to cut down all the trees behind my house. Like, I've posted a couple pictures before, like the really nice like forest area behind my house that had like, you know, trees, and they're basically cut them all down to develop more housing. It's so depressing. Because now I don't want to live here anymore. Because all the trees have disappeared. You know, so sad. And I said that because I can hear them, like, the freaking big things chopping stuff down on that end. And I'm like, ugh, don't even want to look outside. It's so depressing. Like, just piles of dead wood everywhere that they literally clear cut. It's like, all little animals used to live in that little area, and all the stuff, you know. Yeah, well. Nuno says, things are collapsing here. Border just closed. City streets are empty. It's a strange place these days. Yeah, definitely. I find this whole thing's a little surreal, you know? Like, we're all going through, like, this pandemic where it's literally a disease that is putting strain on the entire planet. And like, it's crazy how much of an impact it has had on day-to-day life, you know, health and safety, you know, the economy and markets and stuff like that. It's and it's all because of a sickness, like just being ill, that's like contagious, and because of the fact that the world has kind of spent the last, you know, 50, 100 years, let's say 100 years, sort of like making its borders like not as like, and not a bad thing, but like the world isn't as big as it used to be. The world is a lot smaller than it was. It's a lot easier to, you know, interact with people from other cultures and countries and travel, and, you know, and that's a good thing. It's just crazy how that's like, you know, the thing that sort of like has helped this like sickness and virus kind of explode across the world, because we are so interconnected. So something that affects one group of people is going to affect all groups of people. And it's just a great analogy on how interconnected humans are as a species. Like, we're all one race. We're all one humankind. Like, there's no other humankind. So we all live on this big planet. It's not as big as we think. We all live on it. So, just saying. I feel super bad for my bartender and musician friends. Hope they get through okay. Yeah. Like, my wife's shows and stuff was a big part of our, like, monthly income. She was doing, like, 6 shows a week, or 3 to 6 shows a week. That's, you know, that's a hunk of change when you think about it. So, you know, right now, being self-employed and things like that is definitely a little concerning. You know, like, you guys that are Patreons, that you help me out, I'm super grateful. But I'm going to have an impact as well. People not going to events as much, or not having as much disposable income, you know, so my income will, of course, shrink as well. So there's going to be repercussions across the planet. So we'll see how that goes. But I am positive, staying positive, and I hope you are as well. A couple of final questions before we finish up the stream for the day. But Matt says, do you think the Army would benefit from having one bigger transport capacity on Venoms so our HQs can ride with them? Yes, I think 6 would be amazing for Venoms. Mark Witowski says, the federal state in which my brother works as a police officer in Germany has closed its borders. Apparently, my brother will be protecting its borders starting tomorrow. Crazy. Yeah. So, like, the fact that, like, we're closing borders and stuff is, like, feels so backwards, you know what I mean? But other than that, that's it. we've sat down, we painted, we've got some stuff done. I hope you guys have enjoyed the paint stream so far, and I hope you guys, get some work done just in general. I will stay tuned to the Twitch page or here in case you'd like to just hang out. And thank you so much to everybody who's been using their Amazon Primes to subscribe to Twitch, or just subscribing on Twitch really helps me out. And if you haven't already, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. But other than that, that's it. That's it for the morning stream. Yeah, Mark, absolutely. Hopefully you guys enjoy it and stuff. Thank you, Prankster, Alfarius, War Mistress, Mole Security, all you folks that, the Denizen community, BP Edwards, that all happen to hang out, Shadizo, all you guys. Hail Hydra, good luck with coronavirus, bud. BP Edwards, I'm going to try and do a stream, maybe not today, but I'm going to try and set it up so I can do a stream twice a day, which I think will be really good, so we can get more hobby in. But other than that, I have been your grateful host, Skari. This has been Just Put Paint on It, your isolation station. Signing off until next time, Skari out. Bye, everybody. That is the end of the stream. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been painting with us, you know paint is the best thing for you and me. It is the thing that you like to do and I like to do. If you're stuck at home, hashtag just put paint on it.